the Mystery Mouse podcast. My name is Holly and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband and our 5 kids and our many pets. And today is Saturday, August 24th, I think. So I have been gone for a long time and I'm not really sure why. I think part of it was just the end of the summer. It was still very hot and I was busy finishing up the summer, kind of gearing up for fall things. And I don't know, there's just a lot going on in the world and in my life. And I just think, I don't know, it was like I couldn't communicate. So I just kind of stopped communicating with everybody, which is not the greatest thing to do. But anyway, I'm back and I have a lot of things to show you. I have some finished objects. The first thing is what I'm wearing. This is my ranunculus that I knit for Shark Week. I did finish it in time, so I'll stand up so you can see what the whole thing looks like. So here I'm just wearing it over a sleeveless t-shirt. You can see the lace, and it is quite cropped. I keep telling myself I'm gonna go back and knit another inch, but I don't know if I will or not. It just depends. It is really nice for wearing with dresses. Here you can see it's a little oversized, and the shoulders fit really nicely. I will definitely be making this pattern again. I really enjoyed it. And of course, it felt really fast. It was because I was forced to work on it, but it was great. And I'm so glad I got it in. I'm drinking coffee out of my cat mug, which I think might have been the mug I was using last time, but I'm not sure. It's been so long. But besides that, I have some other finished objects. So like many of you, I have been longing for the fall, for fall weather, for fall stuff, all the pumpkin things. I'm trying not to wish my life away, as my mom always tells me, but I am longing for fall. So I wanted to do something pumpkin-y. I got this book from the library, and it has some bulky weight hats. It has quite a few worsted hats, some DK hats, and some bulky hats. So I thought, well, let me knit a bulky hat because that will be fast. And I love knitting hats. I don't really do it that much, which is silly, but I love knitting hats because there's only one of them. So they have this one, which is a pumpkin hat. And so I dyed up some yarn and I knit a pumpkin hat. Now I did mine slightly differently. They just had stripes of the brown and orange up at the top, but I really liked that the ripple at the bottom framing the pumpkin, so I just kind of recreated that on the top, and I really like how it turned out. It's very cute. Where's the jog? I guess it's a good sign that I don't know where the jog is. But anyway, so this is what it looks like on. It's so cute. Fall, my love, you are coming to me. Anyway, so this is my pumpkin hat. I love it. My girls actually really like it too, so I have a feeling I'm going to be knitting some more bulky weight hats. I think I'm going to add a pom-pom to this. This is like a keychain, and it's really too heavy for a pom-pom on a hat, but doesn't that look cute? So I might have to hunt up some pom-poms for these bulky hats. So anyway, this book is The Art of Knitting Hats by Courtney Flynn, and I will try to link to it below. I really also like, and I think I'm gonna make the Christmassy looking hat because I just love those colors. I love how they look together, and I kind of dyed up similar colors to this too, a red, a gold, and a green. But this is a worsted weight hat, and so I think I would have to like size it, kind of copy the sizing on the bulky one. On my quest for pumpkin fall things, I was scrolling through Instagram, and my friend Emily of the Wolden Burn Knitting Podcast showed a picture of the world's cutest pumpkin. So I asked her what pattern it was, and she told me, and I will link it below. It's a free pattern. So I also made this. This is a crochet. I have crocheted the world's cutest pumpkin. Are you ready? So this is crocheted in half double crochet. It's gingham. As you can see, it's got 3 colors. So you do kind of like 2 rows of like the medium and the dark, and then 2 rows of the light and the medium. And for this pumpkin, I mean, I think it's just for worsted weight, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do my own thing. I held 3 strands of fingering weight together, and I liked the fabric that I got. So I had 3 colors for the dark, 3 colors for the medium, and 3 colors for the light. The light I think is mostly white, but there is a little peachy yarn in there. It's blowing out. Oh, you can't see it. But anyway, so I was using 10-gram minis and just some leftovers. And a few times I did run out of one of the colors and I had to like substitute something, and you can't even tell though. You can't tell. I think it turned out so good. So, and I love the marl effect that using 3 strands of yarn gives it. It's just really, really nice. So one thing that I did different from the pattern is that this is crocheted in half double crochet, which I did. And, but then you're supposed to, you know, you divide the segments with like a string that you pull down and you secure to the bottom, you know. They said to divide it into 8 lumps, but I only did 6 because I wanted you to be able to see the pattern. And if you do 6, you get 3 squares in each segment. So it worked out really nice. So that is what I did. And I would love to make some more of these. The only thing I'll say though is that holding 3 strands of fingering for each color, which was 9 strands total, was a little bit of a yarn management nightmare. So I will say that there were a few times I just had to stop and untangle 9 strands of yarn, but most of the time it wasn't too bad. So I will be making more of these. I don't know, I think too, it was really neat because you just make a rectangle and then you sew it together to make a tube, and then you gather the top and the bottom. So you could really make a pumpkin out of any rectangle, which blows my mind a little bit. But so I'm kind of thinking, should I do like, I could do this with knitting and do some like color work and make an amazing color work pumpkin, and it will look like it's been painted on. Anyway, the only thing that's stopping me is that I'm trying to do other things. You know how it is. So anyway, world's cutest pumpkin achieved. As I was just kind of in a let's crochet things really quickly kind of mood, I crocheted a cover for this plant pot. So I had this plant. It's a cute little plant. It was just in a little black pot. And I crocheted a little cover for it. Once again, I think I held 3 yarns together. I think I made this before the pumpkin. So I knew that 3 yarns together with that hook that I was using, I'm not sure what it was, would be a good gauge. And so I just started with like very dark purple, and I just gradually, I just kept trading like one of the colors out until I got to the top, and then I did this little scallop. And I did some very slight increases, I think on 2 opposite sides as the pot went up, and it turned out so good. The reason I made this is because one of the things that I did over the last 5 weeks or whatever it is since I've podcasted is that we turned my walk-in closet into my business office, which is so, so nice. It was a lot of work because you know how bedroom closets are. It was full of stuff, just stuff. I already did not keep my clothes in that closet because I have a couple of like IKEA wardrobes that I have on my side of the bed, but my husband kept his clothes in there. So we bought him an IKEA wardrobe. We put it inside, and then I bought a desk and a table and some shelves and anything else. And then I put my packaging materials, I put my computer and my yarn stock, my bare yarn in there, and it has been so nice because since I gave Teddy my craft room last year, I have just not had a place that was just mine, you know? And so it's so nice. I can go in there and work, and it's quiet, but everything is white in there. So this black pot, which, you know, I wanted to plant. I have actually a couple plants in there now. The black pot seemed kind of, it was not cute. It was not cute. So I had to cuten it up a little bit. So that is what I did. And I will put in a video at the end. I might put a couple little videos in at the end, but of my office, just so you can see what it looked like when I finished it. And it's a very small walk-in closet. I mean, really, it's very small, but there is enough room in there for me to sit, and there's a window in there because I think when our house was built, it was an optional like master bath, and the people who built the house didn't do the master bath, which is okay, even though we have to share a bathroom with all of our kids, because I think we would have just had a wall closet, and our room would have been smaller. So, you know, it worked out okay, and I have a little office now. So anyway, those are my finished objects. I also I knit a couple things for a friend who had a baby, and I did not even take pictures of them. So they are out there enjoying themselves with their recipient. Some whips now. I am still working on my Audrey pullover sweater by Knitting McPurley. This is knit in my Pilgrim's Progress colorway. And I think this is worsted. I thought forever that it was DK, but the pattern isn't worsted, so I think it's worsted. I'm knitting it on size 6 needles. Anyway, I am not sure where I was last time. I have this little fox progress keeper. This is from my friend Elizabeth. She has, I think, 1 or 2 of these in her shop. It's adorable and perfect for fall. But anyway, I just started the bottom ribbing. So I checked my measurements, and it was I think even a little bit over where she said to knit to. So I started the ribbing, and I have not worked on this in a few days because you know what's coming next after I finish the ribbing? The sleeves. And I am avoiding the sleeves like the plague. But I know I want to get it done. It's going to be such a perfect fall sweater. It's in this bag by Susan of Delightful Works, which is a nice big roomy bag. And I think I love this bag too because the colors match my sweater so nicely. And when you get to be a bag lady and you have tons of bags, then you can match your project, and it's very satisfying. Next up, I have a couple of sock whips. This is also a Susan bag, Delightful Works. These are my red wall socks, and I have finished one except for the heel. It's not a very big sock. And I'm working on the second one. The only reason I have worked on these because I'm a terrible sock knitter as far as, you know, getting things done, especially the second sock. But there was a few nights when I needed something really easy and mindless to knit, and this was perfect. I have another Progress Keeper. Elizabeth made this one for me for Christmas one year, I think. It's so cute. And her shop is EB&Co US on Etsy. But so as you can see, I have a little bit left. What is that, like before I start the toe? Like 2 inches? 2 inches before I start the toe. So I do pull this out like late at night, especially. I've noticed I pull this out late at night, or if we're going somewhere, like David and I went out to a coffee shop this morning kind of early for a little morning date because we're getting to be that age where we can't do anything at night, so we have to do it in the morning. And I took those, I knitted on them a little bit. This is my Mau Mau socks for my husband, for David. This is in a bag by Stolen Minutes, which I love, and it's perfect for this yarn because it's cat themed yarn. I finished the first sock. So that I'm knitting this the same way I always knit my husband's socks. I have 2x2 ribbing at the top, 6x2 ribbing on the leg, and then 6x2 ribbing on the top of the foot, plain on the back of the foot. You can see. Let's do a size comparison, shall we? So here is my finished red wall sock. And you can see how much bigger my husband's socks are. Teddy, go away.
Size comparison. Big feet.
Thank you.
Big mad feet.
I'm gonna leave this in. Go away.
Sorry, I said blow my nose.
I'm filming a podcast. So as you can see, stop it. Go away. So anyway, I have started the second sock. I think I just finished the cuff and started the 6x2 ribbing on the leg. Slightly bigger than a mustache. So anyway, these ones are fingering weight socks, but I am knitting them on size 2 needles. I am knitting my sock on size 1 needles, which is probably another reason they're smaller. Although this is a 72 stitch sock, and for myself, I always do a 64. I'm really excited to be getting some socks done, both for my husband and myself, because I haven't finished a pair for either of us. Well, no, I finished some for my husband a little while ago, but I have not had a new pair of socks in a long time because I keep knitting one sock and then not knitting another one. My last whip is my cross stitch. I showed this last time because I started working on it again on July 4th. Wanted something patriotic to work on, and I would really like to get this done by Christmas time, so I've actually been working on it. It's really, really nice. So last time I had just done the middle of the skirt. So this is where I am now. It looks so nice, doesn't it? So I did, last time I had just done these like red sides of the skirt. I didn't even have this center stripe done. And I did all the roses and I started the blue. And it looks so cool, so pretty. So once I finish this blue overskirt part, there's just like the bodice and the head, which of course are much smaller. And then she's got wings and these little stars. She's got these wings, which are actually a separate piece. They go on the back, and these stars. And I think there's some beads down here in the bottom, which I'm saving for last because I'm scared of them. And then it will be done. And I'm gonna put this on top of my little America themed Christmas tree that we put up on the front table at Christmas time. So that is that. I will try to keep you posted because it's keeping me accountable to work on it. I have another whip. I have a whip and it threw me because it's not in a bag. But I am participating in the Noble Character Crafts make-along that she does every year, the Make 9 make-along, and this was one of my things I said I was going to make. It's this lion. And this is in the Knitted Wild Animal Friends book by Louise Crowther. I'm not going to do this outfit for him. I'm just doing the lion right now, but I am going to knit him an outfit. I'm not sure which one. I think what the rhino is wearing is what I'm going to knit him. But anyway, I got the called for yarn, which I think is sheepjies. How do you say that? Is it sheepies or sheepjies? But I got the called for yarn and I really like it. It's like I think it's a cotton with acrylic blown into it. So it's kind of fuzzy and it makes this really nice tight fabric. it's being knit on size 2 needles, straight needles, and they don't match, but they're both size 2. These are the only size 2 that I could find, and I'm kind of thankful that they're like short. They're not like, you know, they're not super long, so that I'm like, but anyway, so I've got the body done, and it just looks like a pea pod, an enormous pea pod. They put these cute little garter ridges here to help you put the legs on, which I really appreciate. And I have also finished one arm. It's so cute. It has this little thumb. It's like a little thumb. So I think the reason I need to cast on the second arm, and it's got all these rows, like, and so I had to like check off on a paper because I'm terrible at counting rows. I mean, it should be easy, but when you have like a few rows and you do some increases and then you got to start counting, I'm always like unsure of myself. So, so you can kind of see how big he's going to be. And his legs are going to be really long too. And then his head, he's going to be a good size. This is for Grady, and it's going to be a Christmas present. So I'm still on my first little ball of yarn. I'm really interested to see, I think that each animal calls for like 2 balls of the main color. I mean, he is almost all this color. I think he's got a little white on his face and on his feet. But I'm really interested to see how much of this yarn each animal actually takes. I'm really curious. So I need to get him a little bag. I think I didn't get him a bag because I'm using straight needles, and sometimes it's hard to find a bag where straight needles fit comfortably in there without poking through it and stuff. And I've just had that on my desk in my new office. A future cast on is a sweater for Ivy. She requested this, and she's very, shall we say, persuasive. But this is from this book, Fellowship of the Knits, the unofficial Lord of the Rings knitting book by Tanis Gray. And she wants the elf sweater. Let me show you. Elven armor pullover. Ivy has long been a fan of Legolas since she was a little girl. And anyway, so she said she wanted a light blue sweater. So I dyed this yarn for her. It's just kind of a sky blue. It's a DK sweater. I'm doing the smallest size. She's 12 and tall but skinny, so I'm going to do the smallest size, and I've already balled up one, and it's really interesting. I haven't started yet. I think I'm a little intimidated by the pattern. There's a lot of words, like there's pages and pages of, you know, knit 17, purl 12, I don't know, I don't even know, but it looks a little scary. But I think what you do is you knit a base sweater, and then you pick up these pleats and knit on top of it. So I think it's going to be a ton of knitting. So I'm thankful that I can do the smallest size. But anyway, that will be cast on soon. So I think that's all my projects. I definitely have a lot of projects. I mean, I have more projects on the go. I just haven't worked on them recently. And I have more things I want to start. But it's just more like wishful, like, oh, I really should make this magical thing. So, but I do have some information on my shop, Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. So, and then I'm gonna have some book talk. So in my shop, I recently put up a couple things. First of all, I put up more advent calendars. If you are in the market for a Murder, She Wrote inspired yarn advent calendar, it's 12 days of mini skeins, one main skein, special hand beaded stitch markers, treats and goodies for every day. Plus I'm going to be adding a little mystery. So if you are in the market for an advent calendar still, this is the last grouping of advent calendars that will be available. There's only a few left, so if you really want one, now is the time. I think there's 7 left in the shop. So please snag that if you're interested. The other thing is our Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club is beginning the fall book, which is All Creatures Great and Small by James Herriot. And I just recently read these books and I love them so much. They are so relaxing, so pastoral and anecdotal, and if you love people, if you love animals, you will love these books. So I am doing a mystery yarn for our book club, but of course anyone is welcome to purchase. But if you're interested in joining our book club, just email Stephanie at Texas Peach Knits. I will put her podcast down below and you can email her and she will put you into our Telegram group. We're also knitting along anything that we feel like knitting that is inspired by the book. So I'm going to have a mystery yarn, and it's available in fingering, DK, or a fingering weight sock set, and you can choose which one you want. Also in my shop, I have not listed these yet. So I decided to do a series because my husband is a huge fan of those old Universal Studios monster movies from like the 30s and after that. And that's just like his, I've had a long day and I need something mindless to watch. That's what he watches, is those really old movies. So I decided to do a series on them. So here is Dracula, the Wolfman. I love how this purple turned out. Frankenstein. It says speckles in it. Creature from the Black Lagoon. And my personal surprise favorite, The Mummy. So I love how these look together. They would make an amazing fade, I think. I'm gonna try to hold them all. It's gonna be a mess. Let's see. I think those would make an amazing fade. And also I love the minis together. So these are very limited quantity. I did not write down any of these recipes, so once they're gone, they're gone. But if you're looking for some Halloween socks, I think those would be perfect. Or if you just want some fall socks. Some of these are good man colors too, like the Dracula. It's just black and white and gray with red. And the Creature from the Black Lagoon is a great masculine color too, I think. It's green and brown, and anyway. So I hope you will check those out. I think I'm just gonna put them in. I'm just gonna put them in the shop. So probably as soon as I put this video up, I will put them in the shop. Okay, so book talk just for a minute, what I am currently reading. I have been collecting the Miss Polifax books. I was once again influenced by Emily Boldenburn because she has been reading these a ton. And so I remember I had listened to them a long time ago on audiobook, and I was like, I'm just going to start collecting them because I found some at a used bookstore, I think. And but I didn't get the first ones. So I was ordering some stuff on Thrift Book for my kids for school. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm just gonna look and see what the first few books are and buy the first few books. So I did. I got the first one, The Unexpected Mrs. Polifax. And I just read this a few days ago, maybe last week. I'm on number 4 now. This is such a good book. It's really interesting because they're all good. I really like them. But the first one has that polish that comes from being a first book, and I bet it was gone over and over again. And then it was a big success, and I think she probably wrote the other ones much faster. They're still great, but the first one is really good. It's really excellent. So these are kind of like, I would call them cozy thrillers. They're thrillers, they're kind of spy novels, but they are pretty happy, pretty cheerful, and the the person is an amateur. So in a cozy mystery, there's a couple rules, and one of them is that your sleuth is supposed to be an amateur, so it's not like a police procedural, and also that you're they kind of keep the gore down, and I don't know, they kind of throw them into situations where they have to solve the crime or are wanting to solve the crime. So that is very much this feel, but with a spy story. So I read the first one. I read the second one, The Amazing Mrs. Polifax. I finished the third one just a night or two ago, The Elusive Mrs. Polifax. And I love this. This one is not like that, but these three all have a hat on the front. It's like her hat, because these were written in like the late 60s. I think hats were kind of not that common anymore. And then I just started this one, A Palm for Mrs. Polifax, and it has a hat on it. But I think they make kind of a big deal about the fact that she still wears a hat. She's supposed to be 60 and very, you know, an empty nester widower. And it's funny because 60 does not seem that old, and I don't know if they considered it old or if it's just my perspective, because I am now getting older. I'm not 60 yet, but you know, whatever. Anyway, but I am really enjoying those. I think I have about 8 of them, so I'm going to have to get on the stick and try to get some more, because I have a feeling, I was telling David, it's so nice to be reading a book, well, and a series too, but reading a book where it's like I really want to get back to the book instead of feeling like, oh, I should read my book, you know. But like, I've been reading before I go to sleep, and which I have not been doing lately, and that has been really nice. I think I've been sleeping better, so it's just, I'm really enjoying it. Now I thought I would do a little kind of different thing. I don't know if I'll continue doing this, but I might. My 3-year-old Grady, first of all, I read to him every day. So I read to him before he takes his nap, and I read to him before he goes to bed at night. And I used to not read to him before he took his nap, but I did it one day and he went right down. And before that, it had been kind of a struggle. Like, I'd be like, okay, it's time for bed, and I would just go stick him in bed, and he would cry for like an hour, and it was not good. So I have been reading to him for a long time before he goes to bed. Like, we have this very specific bedtime ritual. Like, he goes and sits in my bed, I get 4 books, he gets a cup of milk and a snack, and I read to him, and we snuggle, and it's so nice. It's so nice. I read to my other kids too before they went to bed, and I still read to my other kids. I read to my girls for school, and I read to my kids all together sometimes. But you know, reading out loud to your kids is one of the very, very best things you can do. It's just the best. I would highly, highly encourage it. They say that before a child learns to read, they need to have 3,000 books read to them or something like that. Of course, I don't think it's a prerequisite. I think it's just kind of like, this will help them to be a better reader. And I heard someone else say, even if it doesn't help them learn to read or be interested in reading, they will remember the feeling of being close to you and it being like a good feeling thing, and then they will come back to it. And I think that's true. So anyway, I thought I would just share with you a couple of my 3-year-old's favorite bedtime books. All right, first of all, this is the book he asks for every time I read to him. Every time. And it is this 5-minute Batman stories. Now, let me tell you, Batman is his favorite superhero. He has loved Batman since he was like 1.5. And I will also put a little video at the end of him in his bat suit. We got him a Batman suit recently because, long story, anyway, we got him a Batman suit. So he loves Batman so much. Now, the thing about these stories, I do not enjoy reading these stories. These are mostly action scenes cobbled together with a very, very faint whiff of a story. So it's kind of like, there's something going on, Robin. Then they're fighting for like 2 pages. And then, thank you, said Commissioner Gordon, the end. You know what I mean? It's awful. But I try to do voices. I try to do the, like, come on, Robin. I can't do it. I try to do the Batman, like, gravelly voice, like in the Lego Batman movie. And anyway, so it's kind of it's a challenge for me as a reading out loud reader. But he loves it, and thankfully they are short. But I will tell you, there's one story in here with Killer Croc. Do you know Killer Croc? He is like a man who has been infected with something that makes him have crocodile traits. Well, there's a story where he breaks into this doctor's office to get himself the antidote to cure himself. And Batman and Robin are like, you need to go to the hospital so you can get the help you need. And they try to stop him. I mean, it's like, why don't you just let him take the antidote? That's what I'm saying about these stories. Just let him take the antidote so he's not a crocodile anymore, and then arrest him. Anyway, kind of drives me nuts. But also Superman and Wonder Woman show up here every once in a while. So, but anyway, this is one of the reasons I read him 4 books, and I never read him more than 1 Batman story because I just can't. But he also loves this book, and this is one of my favorite books from when I was a kid. This is from the, I don't know what you would call it, Disney Book Club? Disney Wonderful World of Reading. I think this was a book club back in the 80s. And when I was a kid, someone gave us like a hand-me-down of a whole bunch of these books. So I had these growing up. I know we had Button Soup. I think we still have it, but it's like destroyed. But I can't get rid of it because that's how I am. So I found this used and I bought it. And this is, of course, a story of like Stone Soup or Button Soup, where they, you know, she wants to make soup with just 1 button, and he says he doesn't have any food. And you know what I think I loved about this book when I was growing up? First of all, it's the Disney characters, but like, I don't even care about that. I loved the scenes of abundance in his pantry and ceiling stuff. So he goes into the attic, and this is what his attic looks like. So he's got so much stuff like saved up, like a store. And then he runs down to a cellar, and it's like a meat shop. And I think as a kid, just seeing all those images of like, wow, it's so much. And it's not like ridiculously so much. It's not like football fields of food, but it is a room full of food, you know. And so anyway, I enjoyed this book a lot when I was growing up. And it just has a very satisfying beginning, middle, and end. So if you can get your hands on this, your kids will love it. So I think that's all I have for you today. I will put now the little video of my office, and I think it's an up and down video, so sorry about that, and also of Grady being Batman. And I hope you enjoy that, and I hope that it is not 5 weeks or whatever it's been till I podcast again. I will really try not to let that happen, but hopefully as the school year gets going and fall, and I mean, I know it's going to ramp up and we're going to get busier, but hopefully it will be kind of steady, you know, and it'll be easier. One of the reasons I hate summer is just that there's no routine. Every week is its own special thing. So, but thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye. Tell me about defeating the bad guys.
Defeating the bad guys is a bad way. So I fight the bad guys and then the elevator fall down on me.
And then what happened?
And he falls.
Then what happened, Grady?
Then I run away.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
It's not very super.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna go get Robin to help you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Alfred could make you a snack.
Yeah, but he just gave me something and he to fight me, and then I fight him too.
Okay, that sounds cool. Okay, see you later, Batman.
And I do.